Anyways, welcome to the first ever MN Talk show with your host Max Menne and Nate Johnston. This is just kind of a test run, just want to introduce ourselves to you guys and, explain what the podcast is going to be about and whatnot. And like I said, just help you guys understand who we are on more of a personal level before we start, bringing in guests and things like that. There's definitely going to be some dope guests on this podcast, that's for sure.
Next week's going to be huge.
Yeah, next week. That first one with a first guest is always kind of a big one because you don't want to have somebody like Brady Holland. No, I'm just kidding. Like Brady Holland on your first show to spark it off or kick it off, I guess. So I think next week is going to be super cool. We'll kind of see how we plan on like posting these and whatnot, if we like record them a week ahead and then post them the week following. But just like stay on the lookout for like posts on me and Nate's Instagrams and whatnot. I don't think we're going to make a different profile for them just because I don't think it's necessary. I mean, we have such a big following on our personal accounts and our business accounts already that we don't need another account to manage and whatnot. So, I think that's kind of it. But let's kind of kick it off. So Nate, tell us a little bit why you're Nate. Who's Nate Johnston? That's the biggest question.
Well, I'm a 22-year-old from Rogers, Minnesota. So nothing crazy special. Played a little bit of high school hockey, went up to St. Cloud, played a year of junior hockey up there.
How was that?
It was unbelievable. Yeah. Life-changing. Yeah. I mean, arguably one of the best years of my entire life. Great guys to play with, great coaching staff. It changed the way I looked at life a little bit. Right. And I think it made me grow up a little bit.
Mature a little more than you were.
I lived with a billet family, right. Cindy and Dave Battleson. Shout out to you guys, absolutely fantastic people. So I mean, it changed my life for sure. I had two roommates, Eric.
Were they on the team with you?
Yeah, I had Eric Bromberg. He was a defenseman. He was there probably 90% of the season. They got traded to the New Ulm Steel like the last half. So he was an awesome roommate. And then the other goalie, Bailey Huber.
Gotcha.
He came in probably 3 weeks into the season. So me and him definitely connected just because we're a couple
goalies. Yeah, you guys.
Yeah, a couple knuckleheads.
Well, yeah, you goalies have a different mind. That's for sure. It's just like a little crazy and a little like heartwarming at the same time. I can't really explain it.
It's we're definitely a different breed.
For sure. So, yeah, dude.
But yeah, outside of that, I do a little bit of coaching hockey on the side as well.
Right.
I do a lot of stuff for the Rogers High School boys team during the summer.
Okay. Like for SCP and things like that?
Yeah. And then I help run a AAA program called the Minnesota Lakers with Dave Brown, who's actually the Rogers High School hockey coach.
Right.
I mean, that program is fantastic right now. I mean, we've grown so much.
Rogers and Minnesota Lakers, like they're both just phenomenal.
Yeah. Past 4 years, I mean, both programs are just taking off. I mean, we have a sweet brand new off-ice training facility out in New Hope.
Yeah, the base. Yeah,
the base.
Yeah, I do a little bit of training over there. I did it more the last 2 years than I have now, just because I've focused on doing real estate a little bit more and diving into that. But yeah, I've trained there for a couple of years and whatnot, and it's awesome. I mean, since like day one when Dave like purchased a facility or started the lease or whatnot, I was there helping set up the squat racks and things like that, and it's just like crazy to see how much it's grown from like banners being hung and like paint getting laid on the walls and whatnot, and the rubber mats being laid and things like that. So it's awesome to see how many people Dave has close to him to help him out, and help him grow his companies, but like his programs. Man. Yeah. So it's a sick life to live, that's for sure. How long has Minnesota Lakers been around? 5 years now? 6?
Longer than that. I would say, I think his first group was 06s, and those 06s are now seniors.
Yeah, they'll be graduating this year.
So 7, 8 years.
Yeah, I was gonna say 12 years.
Maybe more than that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
that's crazy.
We started off with one team and it just kind of went from there, and we've exploded.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy. I guess it's definitely a business standpoint for sure. Like finding it as like a coaching area, because having one team is like easy, right? Like you're just coaching, you're running their team, you're ordering jerseys and things like that for them. But then adding on 7, 8, 9 teams after so many years has to be such a pain, but such a blessing, I guess, and like such a good feeling for yourself. But yeah, well, that's sick. So you just do that during the summer, and then what about the winter? Do you coach during the winter?
Winter, yeah. I actually coach with my cousin over at the Buffalo Girls high school hockey team. I just goalie coach over there. Right. So once and twice a week, do something that I love to do and watch them play hockey.
Right.
I mean, last year we went up to Roseau for our last game of the year.
That's fun.
It was a fun little trip.
Did you guys win?
No, we actually lost, so it ended our season, unfortunately. But, I mean, we were the 8th seed, and they were the 8th seed.
Right.
We had them going into the second. It was 0-0 for a while.
Really? Like, kind of holding on for a second.
I'm like, all right, this could be it. And then they got a couple quick ones, and we lost a little bit of momentum, and then they got another one. It was like 3-0.
That's kind of how all sports go. Is like if like you get a couple goals scored on you and it's like starting to go late into the game, you're just like, what the fuck, dude?
You're like, shoot.
Yeah, exactly. No, I get it. Yeah, trust me, I've been there in those Roseau losses. That long ass bus ride home, dude. It sucks.
Yeah, I mean, it was a good time though. Yeah. We went up. I think it was a Saturday game, maybe not even. Yeah, I think it was
probably a Saturday game.
We went up Friday morning, stopped in Bemidji.
Yep.
We skated Saturday morning then.
At Bemidji?
Yeah, at the college rink, which
was sweet. It's such a dope rink.
Yeah, Ryan Huddy used to play there.
Yeah.
So that was pretty cool. His dad actually coached in the NHL too.
Oh, really?
Yeah, super sick. So it's cool to learn from him too.
Right. He's probably got a lot of knowledge to get from that.
So I just pick up little things here and there that he does. So it's definitely added to my game and like the coaching world too, to learn from him and everybody else on that staff. So
Right. Yeah, I heard a great quote from like a coach that used to coach me, Riley Wood from high school. You know Riley, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. He's a great guy.
The Wood.
Yeah, the Wood. Yeah. He's players who can't play coach. And it's like true, I guess, if you can't play anymore. Not like you can't play like you sucked, but like if you can't play anymore, you're done. You got nowhere else to go.
Like John Cooper, the Tampa Bay
Lightning. Yeah, exactly.
Never played hockey his entire life, and he's
one of the best coaches ever. Yeah, it's crazy. Unbelievable. But yeah, so that's crazy. I guess just to kind of learn about your life a little bit. I mean, you got a little brother, right? He's a year younger than I am, 2 years younger than I am.
Yeah, he's a senior this year in high school, so I want to consider him
weird.
Little anymore.
Brady's a senior this year too. God.
So it's crazy, but he'll be trying out for the high school team this year.
Yeah.
So hopefully he'll be playing with those guys, and I mean they got a good chance of going to state this year.
For sure.
I look forward to watching them.
2 years in a row, section finals, lost to Maple Grove. I mean. Yeah. You got to win one of them, right? Like it's
eventually
third time's the charm.
Third time the charm.
Yeah,
right?
exactly. So yeah, and like we were saying, is like Dave's built that program up so much since the last coaching staff that was here. It's amazing.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean they'll be fine. Yeah, and you don't live at home anymore, right? You got your own place with your girlfriend.
Yeah, we. It's me, my girlfriend, David Bauer, and now Jake Dorholt.
Sick. Jake's got that dope RS3, dude.
Yeah, it's
I'm so jealous.
Car.
Yeah.
He definitely knows when he's leaving in the morning.
Oh, for sure. Love it.
But yeah, it's been good.
Yeah.
I mean, I got no complaints so far.
Right. And you got some good roommates too. I mean, that helps out also. Is like having asshole roommates is such a pain.
Yeah,
like yeah, dude, I love it.
Yeah. What about you? What do you do now?
What do I do now?
Yeah.
What do I do now? I'm a full-time realtor now is what I do. Yeah, so my story is like kind of similar. It's a little bit different. I didn't go play junior hockey anywhere. I played hockey my whole life and played for Dave 2 years and whatnot. And then senior year came around, didn't make the team, which was totally fine. I understood why. Took a little bit of a hit, as any athlete would, right? I mean, not making a team that you've been trying to play. Yeah, exactly. Senior year too.
Not to like get in like too death, but like
I don't care. Yeah.
What was like the conversation with you and Dave?
Super quick, 15 seconds probably.
Really?
Well, dude, I was in shock. It's just like, so you walk into the room.
Did you think you were gonna make the team?
Yeah, not gonna lie. I mean, and I'm sure if you ask, like, I mean, we had 6 seniors that year.
Yeah.
I was the only one that got cut. It's tough. Like, you're all buddies and whatnot. But walk into the room and, like, you're feeling, confident. Like, I thought I had an all right tryout, at least good enough to play for one more year. And walk in, and he's like, yeah, we just don't have a spot for you. And I'm like, oh. What the fuck do I do now? So, yeah, you pick up your bag, you walk back to your car, and you just kind of sit there, and you're like, oh, shit, I'm actually done. Like, that's it, like.
It's my hockey career.
Yeah, exactly. And it's like, I guess you never really know when your last game's going to be, and then you kind of think about it, and that was my last game was Roseau.
Really?
Yeah. Sick rink to play your last game in, by the way. But, yeah, it's just weird to, like, think about, like, oh shit, now I'm actually done. You know, like there's nothing else to do. But yeah, it was fine. I ended up, you know, Dave and some of my other senior buddies like Ty Fredrickson and Hogan Sidgem and things like that, like convinced me to come back and be a manager for the rest of the year. Dude. It was still worth it. I mean, still hanging out with my buddies, like being around hockey, I still love it just as much. But, you know, just being around them and going to a section final, like, first of all, never thought that would happen. Not at Rogers. Not until Dave got there. And, yeah, I mean, it was still sick. It was great to be a part of the journey and whatnot. I wouldn't have changed it for the world. But yeah, then my brother, I played lacrosse like as a youth player for a couple of years, thought it was super cool. And my brother stuck with it, and he's a phenomenal lacrosse player. And he convinced me to play spring of junior year. And I'm like, dude, I just not a big fan of the kids that are on that team. Like, I don't hang out with them, things like that. He's like, dude, fuck it, whatever, just do it. So I was like, all right, cool. So I did it, ended up, you know, playing lacrosse, had a great season. Team wasn't the best, so we didn't, you know, make it through playoffs as far, but it was just fun to play with your brother, and like, I'm sure you would have loved to have that opportunity. It's it's a rare opportunity, and I couldn't pass it up and whatnot, but yeah, it was super fun to play one more year. And then I was like you said, you didn't want to pay a fuckload of money to go to school and not do anything with it and just waste 4 years. So met my girlfriend beginning of senior year and found out her mom was a realtor. And at the time, I didn't know what the fuck a realtor was. So I'm like, you know, you can tell when people make good money and whatnot, they're in bigger house, you know, nicer cars and things like that. So, you know, talked to her about it, and she's like, yeah, just give it a shot. You're not going to go to college. You might as well try something, right? Yeah. So gave it a shot. I took my tests and things like that. Had a hell of a time trying to get my license. But once I finally did, I started off at Edina Realty. Had my first deal there. It was great. I mean, I couldn't complain. I was like fucking 18 years old selling a $265,000 house. I was like fucking on top of the world, right? And so then that happened. A couple months later, it's like January, beginning of 2023. Just nothing's happening for me. I'm not making any money. I'm like working a part-time job just to, you know, pay my expenses and things like that. And then my girlfriend's mom, it's like March or something, and she like referred me over to Teller. She's like, just go talk to him. Just like see what he has to say about being a young realtor, because he was 19 and started Edina as well. And so I talked to him on the phone for like 30, 40 minutes, which is like rare. Like my phone calls are 1 to 5 minutes max. Like they're just straight to the point, no bullshit or anything. And so then talked with him, met with him the next day, switched my license over to eXp Realty on Monday. Like it was just boom, boom, boom. It was so weird to like just, it was scary because like, you know how it is. Sometimes things are like too good to be true. Yeah. And in that moment, I felt like it was too good to be true.
I remember you called me. I was sitting at a open house. You're like, dude, I'm switching tomorrow. I'm like, you're what?
Yeah, you're like, dude, you're switching company. It was so weird. And I think was it you I explained it to, or was it somebody else? I said he's like the Wolf of Wall Street of the Jordan Belfort of real estate. Yeah. So it was just like the mojo was different. Everybody had the same motives to like make a fuckload of money and just like help people out. And at the moment, like I'm like, it's either this or I'm screwed. Like I have to go all in. So I made the jump. I went all in. It's been great ever since. Like, and then I ended up getting you to switch, which was probably scary for you. I mean, you had a big land deal coming up that you didn't want to fuck up. Yeah. Honestly, if I was in your shoes, I wouldn't have switched at that moment. I would have waited for my deal to close and then do it. But
I was like, screw it.
Yeah, exactly. And I think that was the best thing for you.
Met with Tyler for an hour, and I was like, yep.
Well, you walked in the office and you got blown with a leaf blower.
Yeah, I was like, you guys are playing with golf balls and like leaf blowers. I'm like, what the hell is this place?
Did I walk into the right office?
Like, should I be across the street over there?
Exactly. No, I think it was awesome. I think it was the best thing for you. I mean, you've got 125 lots to fucking sell, and like, probably would have never happened if you didn't switch.
It wasn't for the bingo game that we did too.
Exactly. Yeah. So thanks to that, you fucking blown up.
Yeah, I mean it's definitely 180 in my career for sure.
Absolutely,
no doubt about it.
So it's definitely awesome. I think switching to EXP is awesome for any agent, whether you're on our team or not. Just the amount of opportunities that they have to make passive income as an agent is beyond better than any other company. Yeah. We can dive more into that on a different podcast, but if you ever have any questions, you can reach out to me, Nate, or Brady, or Tyler, or anybody on our team, and they'll tell you how awesome it is. So a little bit more about me. I mean, not a whole lot. Just got a girlfriend who goes to school at South Dakota, just taking trips out there every once in a while. Yeah, she's great. Family's great. Not a whole lot. Like I said, I got a younger brother who's a phenomenal lacrosse player. I think he might play D1 lacrosse somewhere, whether it's a shitty school or a great school. I mean, D1 lacrosse is D1 lacrosse, right?
Lacrosse, man.
Right.
D3 too.
Yeah.
I mean, play it as long as you can.
Right. Yeah, because you never, like I said, you never know when that last game is going to be, and then you're fucked. So
mine was canceled because of COVID.
Right. Exactly. And you didn't even think about it.
I had no clue that would be it.
Right.
And I'm like, hey, we got playoffs. We're gonna be rolling in number 2 seed. Like, we're hot right now.
You're fucking golden. And then all of a sudden, boom, you get a phone call. And you're like,
hey, season's over, boys.
Yeah.
And it's like, what?
Yeah. What happened?
Yeah.
Right?
So.
Yeah. No, I get it.
Never know.
Yeah, for sure. So I mean, me and Nate come from, pretty similar stories, pretty similar backstories, athletes. Didn't want to go to college and just found real estate as kind of our, I don't want to say escape, but like our calling. Does that sound fucking weird?
It's a little weird.
Nerdy? Yeah, it's a little nerdy. I guess not our calling. Yeah, exactly. I don't know. Something. Yeah, just it was our thing to do at the time and moment, and it worked out great. So.
Yeah.
But yeah, a little bit about what we're going to see from the podcast, or I guess what you're going to see from the podcast is we have great connections with like great athletes. I don't know if I don't want to say any names yet just because it's going to be a good surprise,
let's just say that he made a life-changing decision about a week ago.
Right.
And I think it was for the best for him.
I agree.
Next week's going to be awesome.
Yeah, next week's going to be good for sure. But yeah, there's going to be a bunch of, great athletes, couple great, I guess, coaches on there as well. We could have, a bunch of people that I don't think we'll run out of people to have a good podcast for you guys. There's not going to be any down or boring or lame podcast to listen to. I'm going to try to keep them a little bit shorter just because it gets boring listening to the same people talk for an hour straight.
Right.
But yeah, so trying to like minimalize, the amount of talking we do and get right to the point, kind of let the guests talk a little bit more about their story just because that's what, you're here to see. But yeah, millionaires, not expensive, just rich realtors, things like that, different business people. So yeah, it's going to be a big variety of people. I don't think you'll want to miss any episode, except for maybe this one, just because it's two idiots talking back and forth. But yeah, it'll be fun. It'll be professional for sure. And like I said, you're not going to want to miss next week's for sure. The first one's always a good one. So yeah, I mean, I don't think we got anything else to say. Just kind of wanted to do a little introduction podcast and share a little bit about us. Do you got anything else to add?
Should we tell them how we got the name? They probably
go for it.
They probably think it's just Minnesota.
Yeah, I think so too. Yeah, go for it. Let them know.
Menne.
There's a lot of thought into it if you think
Max
about it.
and Nate. Boom, done.
Right,
Minnesota.
But it's also Minnesota. Yeah. But our idea was on our Instagram, we had you guys vote as far as like having the state around our logo, which I thought was super cool. It was a dope logo. Yeah. Both of them are super cool. But having the state around it kind of limits us to the expansion or whatnot, I guess, of it, just to see where it goes in the future and whatnot, because you never know. I mean, it could be $1 billion company in 12 years. I don't know. But yeah,
I'm retiring then.
Right, exactly. We could just talk all day.
I'll sit here for an hour a week and
just do our thing and then that's it.
Collect a paycheck.
But yeah, that's kind of how we got our name. It was super simple because like you said, most people probably think it's just Minnesota. I mean, Jake and Brady thought, or not Brady, but Jake and I think Tyler thought it was just Minnesota.
Yeah.
Not Max and Nate, which is weird.
So
yeah, makes sense.
For those that didn't know that. Boom,
yeah. There we go.
But yeah.
Yeah. So I think that's it. Yeah.
That's how we're ending it.
Episode 1, baby. That's how we do it. And I think chime back in for the next couple weeks and just follow the Instagrams to stay in touch with who's going to be a guest on the show and whatnot. And it's just follow along for the ride. It'll be fun. Yeah.
Menne out, baby.
Yeah.